The people who can't wait to return to the office are the reason why everyone else wants to continue working from home. My company did an internal survey which over 800 people completed. 1.40% of those who responded said we should go back to the office 5 days a week. A clear majority only wanted to go into the office once a week at most. They've ended up having to say we will only need to go in once a week going forward. A company that listens is great. My employer says that we must return to the office because they lack the equipment to allow everyone to work from home, despite everyone working from home for over a year already. Mine is making us go back because the CEO feels that it's vital to be able to discuss things in person, and because we have a lease on a huge office that we have to pay whether or not employees are there. I really think it should be a choice. I can see why some people prefer to be in the office, but equally some people prefer to be at home. What one person sees as a negative is a positive for another. Living alone and working from home with zero interruptions would be heaven for me, but I get that extroverts would hate it. Just let us choose. I live alone and work from home. It's good and bad. I can just stick Spotify on and smash through work uninterrupted, but there have been days where I've not seen or spoke to anyone and have felt a bit stir crazy. I think ultimately we will be given a choice to come back to the office. I'm staying put. I'm not missing the daily 2 hours of commuting or the incessant chatter around me. We have one guy who's desperate to get back whose wife is at work, so he's sitting in a house all by himself. Fair enough, really. I think ultimately we will be given a choice to come back to the office. My employer decided that working from home was working so well that they sold the office. No going back for me. And NBSP. And NBSP. I'm delighted. I just left a job for slightly less money so that I could work remotely. No more people walking into the office randomly and telling me about their constipated child. Funny, I'm doing that too, and I don't even fear coming back to work. But unfortunately the kind of people who want to force people back against their will are also coincidentally not great people to work for. Oh, you sweet people. Our office opened up long before anyone else's, declaring that working from home is now dead and a distant memory. I miss the 3 months at the start of the pandemic, where we were solely working from home. Please, take it from someone trapped in the office hellscape. Fight for your freedom. Don't let them drag you back. It's physically and mentally draining, and absolutely pointless to be back in the concrete prison I'm in. I don't really care about the people. I just don't want to sacrifice hours of my life every week commuting back and forth when I can work just as well if not better from home. I'm dreading going back to an office. Love working from home. No interruptions, except deliveries, double glazing, guttering, cold callers. Everything's perfect in my box room office. Temperature, silence, amount of light, comfortable etc etc. Zero commute. Flexibility, roll on retirement. Yeah, I can think of nothing I'd love to do more than waste half an hour each way to sit in a meeting that has been repeatedly proven to have been a single email. I just can't wait to have to put up with everyone else's eccentricities, weed, annoying habits, and having to sit around the 15 cackling 50-something ladies while I eat my crappy cold lunch. The office culture can do one. I'm happy home working in my PJs. I feel there is a high correlation between people who need lots of meetings and people that aren't very good at their jobs. Instead of doing what they are meant to, they schedule a meeting to discuss the work. Agree with others. Let people choose. I live alone and I'm not originally from here, so I'd die from boredom and loneliness never leaving the house. Getting out for the day can boost your mental health. Once stuff like restaurants and gyms open up, WFH will be even better. We had a net problem yesterday that meant us WFers couldn't do much. First time since March 2020. Our boss said it was a sign we should perhaps be back in the office. I'm not prepared to lose the quality of life I've gained from WFH. I'm richer, healthier, and can go out at 4 PM to walk in the local park and woods instead of being on a train. There is no benefit for me in returning to the office. The same thing actually happened where I work. I swear it was deliberate sabotage in an attempt to get us all to come back. The fact there are people who would have read those god-awful dental back to work ads and liked them depresses the heck out of me. I got asked whether I would like to come back in or continue from home. Let me think. Get loads done and walk the dog at lunch, or be interrupted by insufferable idiots and no nice dog walk also with a one commute you say. I left it at, I'll come in when I need to, not when you need me to. I also said we are dropping down to one car, so when I can come in will be limited by that. I'm blended working. I work from home 3 days and in office 2. I cherish my 2 days in the office because I actually get a break and a rest. I'm a full-time carer for my terminally ill husband, so when I'm at home I'm doing 2 jobs, but when I'm at work I'm only doing 1. Being a carer is a tough gig, regardless of how much you love the person. Wishing you all the very best. No, Deborah, I haven't missed your mind-numbing small talk, your constant irrelevant interruptions, or having to pretend that I am interested in seeing pictures of your kids. Imagine if only extroverts came to the office and all introverts would stay at home. Nobody there to absorb all the energy. Non-stop talking. Alphas alphaing each other out, etc. I've been working from home for about 4 years now, and I would rather cut my tit off with a rusty bread knife than return to the office. If I want to speak to someone we have Microsoft Teams. Normally I just prefer talking to my cats, though. Ha ha ha, same. I hope we arrive at some sort of hybrid. There's value in the connectedness we have to our firm's culture and to our colleagues. A lot of companies will lose their secret sauce if they let that die entirely. All sorts of studies show that ideation and innovation often needs collaborative sparks, even if much of the work can be done by lone wolves. But the 5-day grind is hopefully dead. My hope is that if you've done an effective job remotely for the last several months, a year, etc., and you want to stay remote, should be allowed. I was desperate to get back as I hated the lack of distinction between work and home. Don't really care if I speak to anyone while I'm here or not. Mostly not at the moment, as the only people here are the small number who specifically ask to come back for mental health etc. reasons. Exactly the same. Want to go back so I know what it means to finish work. Don't want to bum chum with the weirdo from accounts who tries to shoehorn her pretend mushroom allergy into every single conversation. I know a lad who is dreading going back to the office. The reason is the stupidly long commute. When he was told to work from home, he started setting aside the amount he would normally spend on travel every month. Rounded up, it's about 45 a month. So about 600 quid saved since working from home. He's amazed at how much he's saving by not subjecting him to overcramped buses and trains that are usually late and takes hours of his day going to and from work. He doesn't want to get back to that. Eventually he is going to use the money saved to have a backpacking holiday when overseas travel is up and running. I don't want to go back to the office environment, wearing office clothes, getting interrupted when I'm trying to concentrate. I love working from home. I can take a 10 minutes break, go outside, get some fresh air, watch a bit of TV or listen to music in my lunch break, without getting annoying interruptions. I can do laundry or housework. I get more work done. My mental health is better from avoiding office arguments over having the light on or off. I get more work done. I'm more productive and efficient, and I don't mind starting early or working late, which I didn't do when in the office. The company wins and I win. 2 hours miserable commute each way to be greeted by foul stares from the boss battle axe of a PA, trying to ignore the banter between a bunch of racist finance clerks. Constant interruptions and distractions from passing senior execs who consider it their right to wander out of the boardroom and make life difficult for anyone unfortunate enough to have their desk there. Lunch in the canteen because the office is in a no-go zone that resembles Beirut on a damp Sunday. Then grind on through the afternoon until the slow sad schlep back home. I get more done in a couple of hours at home than I ever did in a day there. My boss is one of the ones who wants everyone back in, and the rest of the managers can be quite sycophantic. I'm returning from maternity and don't really want to go back in the office where people cough into the air, sneeze and rub their hands together, etc. They've decided on 1 week in and 1 week out. It sounds like a nightmare to me, and the office is so noisy. It's the people like Lord Sugar who want workers to return to the office as they have invested in office buildings. Their portfolio return is taking a sharp decline as people work from home and stay at home. I know I'm a miserable old crap, but I could cope with never seeing a coworker ever again. I love working from home. I hate the breezy cheesy suckers. I don't mind going back into the office, but I've loved working from home. For me, a perfect balance would be 3 days in the office. Pref Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday, and at home for the other 2. I get why people want to go back, but I also get why others don't. Stupid commute costs and ridiculous time spent on aged, outmoded public transport. Thousands of pounds per year to commute to London. For what? To be given guidance by some retarded middle manager who thinks it's important to keep the team together? Why? Because their leadership skills are so poor. Monkey see, monkey do is all you know. I feel like people don't consider younger, less established workers with no dedicated workspace. People who live alone and new starters when they think about full-time WFH. Nearly a fifth of people meet their partner at work. I don't want to go back full-time, but I would like some office time. I do of course agree it should be a choice. I genuinely like my co-workers and miss their company living alone. The title made me sad thinking maybe I'm one of those people. I hope they miss my company too. Absolutely. It's not that I want to annoy my colleagues. I'm very quiet and keep to myself at any job I have. I just don't have a desk in my house, nor is there any space for me to put one in. The only place I can work is sitting on my bed, which is not a productive workspace. I'm so glad my job doesn't require me to work from home. I'd be fricked just like I was my last semester of uni. I know I need more social contact because I'm getting isolated and weird, but the thought of going back is also filling me with dread. I got my job during the midst of lockdown and now my contract says I work from home and I'm not freaking having it changed. I don't mind going into the office every now and then, but working from home has quite literally fixed so many issues I was having. I was already fighting to try and have work from home days at jobs due to a disability, and now, I don't even have to. It's done. I work from home now and I've proved it for over a year, so if anyone wants to hire me now, they have to match that. I can't be the only person in this sort of position, so I can't see things going back to how they were pre-pandemic. People who work in non-frontline roles in healthcare are going to be work from home for the foreseeable future, if not forever. I couldn't bear being at home alone 24/7, was climbing the walls there by myself. I was allowed to come back, and now I sit in an empty office built for 150 people, by myself. I've scavenged anything edible from people's desk drawers, with their permission, and thrown away heaps of year-old rotten fruit. I do hope I'm not the reason others don't want to return, but if I am, ha 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 ha, it's my office now. I'm imagining the world's happiest office goblin and I love it. I remember hearing someone have the same conversation, almost verbatim, about their new washing machine 3 times in one morning when I forgot my noise cancelling headphones. I never forgot them again. Being able to leave meetings because they've stopped talking about anything relevant to me has been a huge productivity boost. When you're attending in-person meetings, it's considered rude to just up and leave the second they start bullshitting or go completely away from anything related to you. This is true. I've blamed it on poor internet connection. I've found it quite chalk and cheese in my office. The people who are back absolutely hated working from home as they got bored, procrastinated a lot and found deadlines difficult. Creative company, so all deadline based all the time. The people who are still at home are very keen to remain there permanently. I've seen a lot of people post about wanting a hybrid, my preference, but see 2 distinct groups forming in a lot of companies in the future. My opinion remains that if a project can benefit from in-person working, do that. If it can be done quietly without distraction, home is a good option. Some people are unbelievably distracting just by being there and existing. Similarly, staring at my bedroom wall at home when I should be working can get pretty distracting. I work better in the office, and most of my social life was after work random meetups, so I'm looking forward to going back. I do think it's good to give people the choice though. Ditto. Even when at uni I'd have to go and work in the library as I got the square root of nothing done at home, and growing up hasn't changed this fact. I have one who sits in my forbicle. She's a nice enough lady, but she loves to go off for ages about things only interesting to her, like some minor tiff she had with some person I've never met. And she seems to have no ability to tell when people are tired of listening to her. Like you can literally turn your back to her and she'll just keep talking. And she has no chill. She'll freak and make a big deal out of minor work problems, and it makes you worried that maybe you should be more worried about this dumb thing that she's worried about. I've worked in the office since it all started, and I'm so jealous of my friend in Newcastle who's been working from home this whole time. I work for the council and don't have a choice. They're getting people back in regardless, and it's insane. They're trying to look for other work that I can do from home but having no luck so far, and absolutely dreading going back in. I've permanently got that Sunday night back to school feeling, and it's awful. I started taking my breaks away from my colleagues because I couldn't be asked with the break room. I was then encouraged to go back to sit with them. I hated eating in the break room. Most awkward place as you stand around staring at your lunch in the microwave. Work at Morrison's head office, and they have been super keen for weeks if not months to get us back in ASAP. We've been commuting to the office now, as normal, for at least a month if not longer. Anyone who's trying to work flexi, or ask for work from home, is being given the serious cold shoulder by bosses, team leads, and they are basically ignoring anything even happened. I know someone who wants to go back to socialize. They got lonely by themselves. If you met this person, you'd want to continue to work from home. Bear in mind, some people who want to return to the office are actually isolated on their own working from home and most likely miss the human interactions they have in the office. Not everyone is a massive job's worth. Some people feel the need to physically be around their colleagues for the benefit of their own mental health. I like working from home, but then I've got a partner and a dog, so it just works for me. There's such a huge difference from people who just don't have a nice place to be comfortable at home, and those who demand others to be there for their entertainment, though. I think OP means especially the second type. Exactly, with our company it is only the people who push work off onto other people that want to go back into the office regularly, possibly because they have more success offloading work face to face. I've been in the office since last August. It works better for me as my WFH situation isn't great and I have more motivation in the office. That being said, it's nice to get some housework done on a break when at home. There is a small number of us in the office currently and I like it like that. I don't want everyone else to come back and disrupt the peace. I got a job which required me to be in the office back in November after being made redundant. I was WFH for a while in my previous jobs, but honestly, it was crap as it felt like I never did anything but endless Teams meetings about what was going to happen when it was lifted. It saved me. I was flailing on my own, just spiraling, and when that second lockdown was announced, I was in despair. I then got lucky when a job that turned me down before contacted me about another job they thought was more suitable for me. Now, I feel much better. I talk to actual people and have made friends here. It's not perfect, but I'm not spending the night crying into my pillow. Flexible working is the future, as different people work best in different ways. That's something that'll hopefully be worked out between employers and employees in the next few weeks. But don't dismiss the experience of people who prefer being in the office every day just because it isn't for you. I benefit from the separation of work and home and being able to make connections with other humans, which will hopefully help me advance here. It might not for you, but that's fair enough. But just don't ignore and outshout us. I have settled for a happy blend of Monday and Tuesday in the office and Wednesday to Friday WFH or site visits. Monday, I sort out the firefighting with colleagues and help make physical checks on equipment ready to be dispatched, something that obviously could not be done remotely. Tuesday, I spend carrying on from the Monday chaos, printing stuff and collecting items for the rest of the week. Wednesday onwards, I spend designing control systems and programming in complete peaceful bliss, working when I want to. So what if I do my 8 hours starting at 5 AM? Yeah, it works really well for me and I reckon I'm more productive because of it. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.